Welcome to the Explainer. So, today we're tackling a topic that literally strikes fear into the hearts of solar installers and engineers everywhere. We're talking about solar fires. But instead of just settling for that generalized fear of what might happen when things go wrong, we're going to shift gears a bit. Our goal today is to build a precise engineering level understanding of DC arc physics. We're going to dig into the actual math, the behavior of your equipment, and the absolute limits of arc fault interruption in high voltage MPPT solar strings.
Let's kick things off with an absolutely crucial question, one that honestly gets overlooked way too often in basic safety training. Why do solar fires just refuse to go out once they start? When most of us think about electrical danger, we almost instinctively fear the current. And yeah, for sure, current is undoubtedly powerful. But here's the thing. In the world of high-voltage solar setups, voltage is actually the hidden villain keeping these fires alive. Once an arc fault starts in these systems, it simply does not want to stop. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for taking you beyond basic assumptions and into the actual math. First, the hidden solar danger. Then, AC versus DC arcs. After that, the math of arc survival, followed by the MPPT betrayal, and finally, stopping the unstoppable.
Section 1. The hidden solar danger.
Most of the time, the industry explanation of arc faults stops at a really high, almost superficial level. You'll constantly hear things like, well, arcs equal heat and heat equals fire risk. And okay, while that's completely true, it doesn't give us the full picture, right? Typical training just doesn't calculate the actual arc sustained current threshold. The vital relationship between string voltage and arc persistence, it's basically ignored. There is also a glaring lack of detail on how your MPPT input actually behaves during an arc condition. And crucially, there is almost no discussion on how protection devices can silently fail in high-voltage strings, specifically those over 150 volts DC. So understanding these high-voltage arrays means we literally have to go beyond basic awareness.
Section 2. AC versus DC arcs.
To really grasp why solar arcs are so incredibly stubborn, we have to compare AC and DC directly. An electrical arc forms when electricity literally jumps across a physical gap. This ionizes the air and creates plasma. Now, in standard AC systems, like the wiring in your house, the current alternates. It naturally crosses 0 volts 50 or 60 times every single second. Because of that constant zero crossing, an AC arc tends to be self-extinguishing. It just naturally dies out in a fraction of a second. But DC, direct current flows in one continuous direction. There is absolutely no zero crossing. Because DC completely lacks that natural 50 to 60 times per second reset, the plasma arc simply refuses to die naturally. It persists continuously as long as the energy is there to feed it.
Section 3. The math of arc survival. Now, what's really interesting here is the math. And frankly, what's terrifying about this math is that 20 to 50 volts number. That is the remarkably low voltage drop required to ionize the air gap and maintain a typical DC plasma arc. Think about that for a second. Even if the current is relatively low, say as low as half an amp or 1 amp, that tiny 20 to 50 volt requirement is all it takes to keep the plasma burning brightly. Now contrast that incredibly low threshold against massive solar strings operating at 150, 300, or even 600 volts. The system voltage is massively higher than the threshold needed to sustain the arc, which makes high-voltage MPPT strings far, far more dangerous.
Let's slowly deconstruct the actual survival formula. It's like a deadly little puzzle. For an arc to survive, your total system voltage must be greater than or equal to the arc's ionization voltage plus the arc current multiplied by path resistance. It's a simple relationship. System voltage equals arc voltage plus current times resistance. If your 300-volt string stays above that combined value, the arc just continues burning, no way around it. And if you have parallel strings present, well, they can feed additional fault current directly into this very equation, making the arc even harder to extinguish. This mathematically proves exactly how easily arcs sustain themselves in these systems.
Section 4. The MPPT betrayal. Okay, here is the real plot twist of our explainer. We're going to track exactly what happens when an arc forms, because an arc's impedance is incredibly dynamic. It changes fast. Step 1. The arc sparks and immediately heats up. Step 2. As that plasma heats up, its electrical resistance actually drops. Step 3. Because the resistance drops, the current increases. More current means more heat, which drops the resistance further, which increases the current again, and bam, that brings us to step 4, thermal runaway. It's a rapid, vicious cycle that escalates the danger literally by the millisecond.
So, here is where it gets crazy. It's all about how the maximum power point tracker, or MPPT, responds to this runaway event. You see, the MPPT doesn't just passively accept these changing conditions. No, its entire job is to actively attempt to maintain maximum power output and stabilize the system's voltage. So, when that arc forms and the current and voltage start fluctuating, the MPPT steps in and tries to fix the drop in power. By doing so, it actually feeds energy right back into the fire. It unintentionally prevents the natural collapse of the fault current. At 48 volts, an arc might struggle to sustain itself. But at 300 volts with an MPPT actively pushing power, it becomes completely self-sustaining and incredibly dangerous. It's a real betrayal by the very brains of your setup.
Section 5. Stopping the unstoppable. Now that we deeply understand the physics keeping these arcs alive, how do we stop them? Here are the actionable, practical defenses you need to take away from this explainer. First off, absolutely ensure all MC4 connectors are properly crimped and fully seated. Loose connectors or partially broken conductors under load are massive risk points. Second, keep your string voltages within safe limits and avoid unnecessary high voltage configurations whenever you possibly can. Long strings over 200 volts, they are squarely in the danger zone. And finally, you absolutely must use properly rated DC protection devices and integrated arc fault detection. This is absolutely crucial because standard AC breakers fail silently in these setups. They might physically click open, sure, but because DC has no zero crossing, the arc simply continues right across the open contacts if the breaker isn't specifically rated to suppress a DC arc. I want to wrap up this explainer with a really powerful quote from our source material. It simply says, in DC solar systems, voltage is the silent risk multiplier. We focus so heavily on current when designing for safety, but once an arc forms, voltage is what keeps it alive. Safety in solar isn't just about preventing faults from happening. It's about deeply understanding how the physics behave when they inevitably do. So I'll leave you with this. What's the highest string voltage you've worked with, and are you truly protected against it? Thank you so much for joining me today, and keep learning.